Hi, Odyssey Camper here. I'm going to say up front that this video is not going to be for everyone. I was asked a very specific question in the comments of one of the videos, and somebody said, how do you make money when you're traveling? And I said, well, I can only comment on how I make money when I'm traveling, which is going to be different than all the other things you see online about people traveling and working along the way. So if you're hoping to find out about working in campgrounds or YouTube income or something like that, I'll make some comments at the end of the video, but really I'm just trying to answer somebody's question. And that question was, how do I make money while I'm traveling? So I own a couple of businesses. I have a business that buys and sells machine tools in the auto industry, and that allows me to travel, work on the phone, things like that. So although I do need to be back at the office and in factories and whatnot, it doesn't happen often enough that I have to be there every day. That allows me to go out for extended periods. I also have an online business that I've run since 1999, 98 maybe now, I think 99, that sells boost controllers for turbocharged cars. So I had a website way back when. You can actually look it up in the Wayback Machine. Maybe I'll put a link in the comments below. In the description below if you want to go check it out. But that was started while I was working a full-time job, and it enabled me to have kind of a part-time income, and it also enables my travel, so I can come back to home base once in a while, fill orders, build up enough stuff, bring it with me, and then mail out packages from the road and whatnot. So the combination of those two allow me to be not financially independent, but at least have a little more flexibility in my time. Okay, so a lot of people that start YouTube channels do so with the intent to make money on it, and that's done by showing ads. You sign up with their program, and for every ad they show, you get some percentage of money. That's not why I set up my YouTube channel. In fact, I think last count I had like 27,000 views, and I can say how much money I made from Google on that. It's been monetized or intended to be monetized from the beginning, because I was kind of curious to see how much money do people really make on YouTube. And the reason I'm curious is I think most of it is BS. I think people that have professional YouTube channels are oftentimes, especially in the RV and minivan camper space, that type of thing, they're often just selling a dream. They're saying, oh yeah, I've got this online business, and usually their business is marketing. Now you can tell when you watch a video if it's overproduced or whatnot. The people that are actually trying to make money at it. I'm just trying to share information, but I was curious to see how much money I would make. So I signed up. I started this channel back in September, and at that time, YouTube Google really had just made the announcement that you had to have a minimum of 10,000 views before they would pay you for showing ads on your channel. And that was ostensibly to protect the advertisers. So, if you had some inappropriate content, nobody wants to have a beheading video go up and then have Target, show their ad right after it. So they wanted to make sure the channels were legitimate. And that sounded reasonable. I hit 10,000 views in like December or something, and then they said, okay, your account is up for review. And they held it in review for 8 weeks. Then they came back and said to everybody, oh, we changed our policy again. Now you have to have so many minutes of views, and you have to have 1,000 subscribers. And I think, really it's BS. I think they looked at that and they said, well, there's all these people that started YouTube channels. If we don't monetize them right away, then we can make money on their backs without paying them. So the whole thing's a little dubious in my opinion. So if you want to know how much I made on my YouTube channel so far with 27,000 plus views, the answer is zero. Haven't made a penny. But that's fine, because that's not why I did it. I've mentioned before, I really set up this channel to kind of show my kids how easy it is to get out on the road for very little money. And that was the whole intent. And I like doing, technical videos and things like that. I like training people, in the real world. So that kind of led to the YouTube channel and some of the subject matter in it. And then I also have a blog. And on the blog, I put some Amazon links. So I set up an Amazon affiliate account. And anything I talk about, I try to put in the links in the blog or under the video or whatnot. Because I was kind of curious, okay, if people get 5,000 views, how many of those people buy something on Amazon? And if people use those links, it doesn't cost them any more. But I get pennies on the sale or whatever. I think it's like 3% or something of the sale. So since around November, I probably made about $10 total. I could go and do the sale breakdown and whatnot, but this video isn't about how to set up an Amazon affiliate account or how to make money on YouTube. Or there's lots of people that do that, can do a much better job. And honestly, I'm not sure I understand the whole thing. But what I will say is if you're planning on doing something like that, you're going to start a blog and you're going to monetize it and you think you're going to make it big, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of views. And I think personally, if you want to do it in the RV space, that'd be kind of silly because you're limiting your audience. If you want to make money, make a lightsaber kid video or cats doing stupid things. I've got a cat that does lots of stupid things. Maybe I should do that. But that's how you're going to get the most views and appeal to the widest audience. I think when you get into a really narrow niche, which what I'm focusing on is how to come up with a low-cost solution to get out and see the world, see North America, national parks and whatnot, and I'm trying to do it on an economic scale. When you're making a video like that, it's a very niche thing, and I don't see where anyone would ever get enough views. If you look at Bob Wells' videos, he's probably the king in this small minivan RV living on the road type space. And you can figure this out for yourself. You can go online and see what YouTube pays, what Google pays for showing ads. And I think, don't quote me on this because again I'm not a professional on it, but I think they get like $7 per 1,000 shows of an advertisement. So that doesn't mean 1,000 views. That means people that watch the ads. So let's say you've got, well, I'm not going to use numbers, but let's say you get paid $7 per 1,000 views. I applied that to how many views Bob Wells has, and I think I came up with like $120,000 that he would have made on ad revenue, and that's the maximum scenario. It's very complicated how YouTube pays you for advertising, but it depends on the popularity and it depends on a number of things. But if I take the best case, that's like the best case. Now, $120,000 sounds like pretty good money, and it is if somebody puts $120,000 in your hand. After taxes, it's probably less, but keep in mind that Bob's been doing this for a number of years. So I think I've calculated the payout was like $20,000 a year. Again, it's not chump change, but you're investing an awful lot of time. And when I look at the time it takes me to just edit a simple video, I think that your time would be better spent at a minimum wage job, honestly. But some people are better at it than I am, and better at video production, making interesting content and whatnot. So I'm not saying it's impossible to make money on the road that way. I'm just saying it's a lot harder than people make it look. Okay. I think for me, if I'm going to go out on the road, it's better for me to work on my vocation for a while and then travel, on the money that I made in the interim. And that's kind of how I do it. And again, I can mail things from the road, so I'm getting an income while I'm out on the road through my businesses. I actually talked to a number of people while I was traveling in my last couple of trips, and I talked to people that worked at the national parks and concessions and the restaurants, things like that. And then I talked to some of the maintenance people, and I talked to people at a couple of KOAs I stayed at that were doing seasonal work. And I think if you're very young, you're just starting out after school and you don't have any debt, you don't have any obligations, it would be possible to make it on the road, traveling around and staying in interesting places, doing a job like maintenance at a KOA or running the desks, or inside a national park. It's feasible. And I talked to the people that worked in the national parks, at least at the Grand Canyon and at the Badlands, and they seem very happy working for, I think, Grand Canyon Centera, I forgot at this point, who runs the Badlands concessions. But you can go on Cool Works or one of those sites and you can see the jobs that are available. You can go to the Xanterra site. There's actually a guy that I watch here on YouTube that he'll be linked in on my page, my YouTube page, and he's out working at Zion, and he's about my age. Decided to head out in his minivan. I think he's got a Dodge Caravan, and he works out there in Zion, and he seems to like it, and he's done a couple of videos, pretty honest breakdown of what it's like, how to get the job and whatnot. So I think that's feasible if you're just starting out and you don't have any debt, or if you're retired, you've reached that point. If you're one of us poor working stiffs that's someplace in between, I don't think the jobs pay enough money unless you don't have any special skills. And I think most people, once they hit their 40s, have some kind of skill. But, you know, maybe you were injured or something and you're not able to work in your vacation, and then that might be possible. The best scenario really is if you can go to a place that'll give you a free site, like a KOA would, and then you're doing relatively light work and you're not climbing up on ladders and doing heavy maintenance. I think that could be a pretty good gig. I spoke to a couple that worked at the KOA just south of the Badlands back in the fall, and they seemed very happy. They were heading out to go do the beet harvest, which is a thing, and that was going to be their first time doing it. They were very happy working at the KOA. I think, yeah, well, for me it might get a little boring after a while. There's a decent KOA right behind Mount Rushmore. They've got a restaurant there, and I talked to some of the folks that worked at the restaurant, a lot of kids, I'd call them kids, in their early 20s, and they seemed really happy, and there's just a ton of stuff to do around it. So, you know, of the little bit of exploring I've done into ways to make income when you're out on the road, I think it is possible, but I think working in your vacation would be wiser. And there are a lot of people out there that have done videos on this subject, so you can look it up if you've watched this far in my video and you're looking for some useful information. Well, there's, you know, the tip of the iceberg, but you can easily find people that are that have dedicated a lot of time to making videos and blogs about how to get those jobs and whatnot. But I do think, based on what I've seen, that it's feasible to do that. So again, I hope I didn't bore the hell out of everybody. This video was really just for one guy that asked how to make money out on the road, and I said, well, you know, I can only tell you how I make money, and that's how I do it. Right now I'm back in Michigan, and I'll be heading down to Texas in a little bit, but just refitting the van, getting ready to go out on the road again, and cleaning up some business while I'm up here in the area. Maybe I'll head down to Big Bend or something while I'm down there. Hope to see you on the road, and if you like the video or you find any of the videos useful, please share them. This video isn't necessarily the one I want you to share, but if you like some of the DIY stuff and you think that, you know, other people, your friends of yours, would be interested, share the video with them, because that's why I do it. I did it for my kids, but I also do it, you know, to help people that maybe don't know how to do some of this stuff, or they happen to find my content. You know, other people make similar content, I suppose. They happen to find my content first, and they find it easy to understand the way I did it. If you're one of those people, please share it with other people. And I'll work on not saying so much in the future. Have a good one.
This is my cat, Steven. Get it? Cat Steven? If you're of a certain age, you will. He is a 6-year-old domestic shorthair. We rescued him locally here up in Michigan. Very affectionate. He likes to drool everywhere. Very inquisitive. And he likes to rub his chin on everything, including my camera. So there it is, my first cat video. Maybe I'll get 1 million views.